Thank you, and to all of the Quitman 10, let me just tell you that we are here for one reason, and that's one reason only. We're here to advocate on your behalf. We're here even to agitate on your behalf. And there's two things that we are calling on this governor to do, and that is to lift the suspension on the Quitman 10, as well as work with the district attorney so that these charges that have been filed can be dropped. This press conference is about fairness. This press conference is about justice. And as the members of the Legislative Black Caucus, we will not rest until the Quitman 10, plus there's been two others that have been recently arrested, find justice, and these charges that have been filed are completely dropped. That's our purpose, that's our mission, and we will not rest until that happens. At this time, I want to invite Dr. Lowry to come up and share a few words.
It's a real privilege for me to be here on behalf of the Quitman 10. I guess I spoke yesterday at Emory University at the Cannon Chapel, where they had an observance in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King birthday, and I was delighted to be there with those students. And I said to them that the best thing students could do, as I see it, in terms of honoring Dr. King, is to put their hearts and minds and soul to those issues that Dr. King gave his life for. Amen. I'm glad to have the programs and glad to have the observances. Nothing wrong with that, but ceremony is a good thing, but it ends with the benediction. And that's why we have to wrap ourselves around what I call sacrament instead of ceremony. Ceremonies end with the benediction. Sacraments begin with the benediction. And we're here on a sacramental purpose. What's happened to the Quitman 10 is more common to 1920 than 2012.
That's right. That's right.
When will it ever end? How long? How long?
How long?
You know, must we suffer this persecution? These people, in the first place, have not been convicted of anything.
That's right.
And I understood that our system of justice rings out with innocence until proven guilty. Amen. Where they operate, all you have to do is be accused by some white folk,
That's right.
and you're guilty till you're proven innocent. That's not what the American system of justice is about. You're innocent until they prove you guilty. These people have not been convicted of any crime. The only crime they've had was being black and pursuing the goals of justice and democracy. They sought office and they were elected. If they had been defeated, we'd never heard of the Quitman 10. If you had got elected, nobody would have ever heard of you. But you got elected. All right. And that's significant. Isn't that what the American dream is all about? Yes. That every citizen has a right to serve in public office, that every citizen has a right to vote and to elect and be elected, and that's why we're here. These people, the governor has assumed because they're black and are accused by whites that they're guilty. And that's wrong. That's just wrong. And that's 1920. That's not 2012. And so we've come here because, and I'm glad to see the media here because I don't know why the media is keeping this so quiet. Why, if the Quitman 10 had killed 4 or 5 white folk in Brooks County, it would have been in every paper, on every television station. But they have been robbed of their democratic rights. And we've been quiet about it. And so we come today to challenge the media in this metropolitan area. Atlanta is supposed to be a bright spot in the South. Our governor has whose name is Deal, is off on a crooked deal. It's a bad deal to suspend people from office who haven't been convicted. They haven't been convicted of anything. And so we come today to say we're with you, Quitman 10, that when you are, as long as you are suspended from your office, all of the offices of everybody in here is in jeopardy.
That's right.
Calvin Smiley is the head of the Black Legislative Caucus. Is that right? You used to be. Did they kick you out? Did they suspend you too? Calvin is one of the seniors of black elected officials in this country, and his office is not safe. As long as they can suspend the Quitman 10, they can suspend Calvin Smiley. And you needn't be comfortable, Calvin, as long as the Quitman 10 is in jeopardy. So we're here today to say we're with you. We are alarmed. We're disturbed. We will not rest until these people have been freed to pursue the job for which the people of their community elected them. They couldn't kill the Voting Rights Act, so they're killing the results of our voting rights. So what good does it do to have voting rights if they can suspend you? You don't have to have any evidence. You don't have to prove anything. Just suspend you. So God bless you. We've come to be with you and let you know we're with you. And all of these people who come from every corner of the state say to the Quitman 10, we ain't going to quit till you back in office again.
We will be with you in February when the president of Gabio is hosting a conference. We will be there marching right alongside of you, standing beside you. And if we have to have a sit-in, we'll be there as well. Representative Tyrone Brooks.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman Jones and Representative Hagler. Thank you for conceiving the idea to have a news conference today. Representative Smyre and I were just talking. Representative Smyre is a past president of Gabio, and he's also a national leader in the National Democratic Party and the immediate past president of National Black Caucus State Legislators. He and I have been talking this past weekend about taking this Quitman 10 case to the U.S. Department of Justice. So we will be in touch with the U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder this week. I want to say to all of you who are here, Black Caucus members, my Vice President of Gabio, Elaine Lucas from Macon, City Councilwoman, the better half of David Lucas that you all have known for many years. Thank you for coming over today. The only other thing I want to add to what Dr. Lowry just said is, where do we go from here? As Representative Hagler asked us upstairs, we go to Quitman the last weekend of February, 24th, 25th, 26th. Dr. Lowry will be our keynote speaker on Saturday. Following the luncheon, Senator Jones will be there to speak and represent the Black Caucus. We're trying to get other national leaders to join Dr. Lowry on that weekend. We will march on the Brooks County Courthouse that Saturday following the luncheon. Reverend Marstella, Joe Beasley from Rainbow Push, Janice Mathis, all of our partners who've been working on this for the last 2 years almost. We will march on the courthouse and we will say, District Attorney, drop the charges. Governor Deal, lift the suspension. And then we will ask the Brooks County citizens, what do you want to do now? And we will support you, Brooks County citizens, in terms of whatever you want to do going forward. We have to make a statement in Brooks County because this is symptomatic of what's happening across America.
Amen.
This is just a tip of the iceberg. Voter suppression, voter intimidation, voter IDs, voter verification, cutting early voting, anything they can do to tamper down the vote leading into the 2012 elections, that's what they're doing across this country. So I just want to thank the Black Caucus for joining us in this fight. David Lucas brought it to us first. Reverend Floyd Rose from Valdosta, the president of SCLC, brought it to us. And then Senator Robert Brown bugged me all last year. He said, you just got to get involved in this, Tyrone. So Senator Brown and many of you went down to Quitman. And we worked on this all last year. And now they've been indicted. They've been suspended. And so we are fully committed to this movement. This is something that Dr. Lyra taught us to do. We're going to continue to do your work. This is a part of your legacy, Dr. Lyra, and we just can't thank you enough for being here. If y'all want to hear Dr. Lyra again tomorrow, join us at 12 noon at the People's Agenda at 328 Auburn Avenue at SCLC Women Headquarters. Thank you very much, Senator Jones.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Miles, and I am here as the Regional Director for the NAACP, and I just want to say to all of the members of the Quitman 10+2, we stand with you, we stand beside you. We take the issue of voter suppression and voter intimidation very seriously. And also, I want to say something not only towards the Quitman 10+2, but also to the residents of Quitman. Because in the process of investigating the claims of voter irregularities, parts of the black neighborhoods were canvassed, where, you know, law enforcement went to people's houses and went to people's jobs and asked them, are you registered to vote, and who registered you, and how did you get registered? This is like something out of a movie, and it's a movie that we've seen before. So we want to be very clear about the fact that while we stand with the Quitman 10+2, we also stand with those residents who also were intimidated, even in their homes and on their places of employment. And we also want to say to the people in Madison, Florida, the people in Tallahassee, we know that this has taken place all over. Yes. And we are going to make every effort we can to uncover every story, to make sure that we know every place that this has happened, so that as we make sure that we make what happened in Quitman right in Quitman, we want to root this problem out in all these other places elsewhere, because we've got to bring this into the light. You know, the only way that this thing can continue to go on with these issues of voter suppression and voter intimidation is if we don't call them out. And so far, you know what, we haven't had enough partners in the media, we haven't had enough partners in the public to make sure that this story got out there. But this is as compelling as any civil rights issue that you will find today. Right. There is nothing more basic and more fundamental to our rights as an American as our ability to go to the polls and elect the representatives of our choosing. And when that right is abridged, we owe it, it's our duty as Americans, first, to stand up and say something. But certainly as the civil rights community, there is no bigger fight on the horizon for us right now than making sure that these folks over here from Quitman, Georgia, from Madison, Florida, from Tallahassee, from all of these little small towns where law enforcement is stepping in, removing people from office, going to their houses and places of employment and making people afraid to go out and exercise their rights. We have a duty to stand with them. That is a part of our legacy, and we will be there with you until the end. Peace and power.
It is important that we hear directly from a member of Quitman 10, the president of the school board down in Brooks County. I'm going to ask Dr. Denard if she will come forward, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Thank you. Let me tell you a little about the Quitman 10+2, how we generated. There was a concern in our community that we wanted better, not only for our citizens, but for our students. So we decided that we needed better. We needed better representation. So we got together a group of community citizens, and we decided that some wanted to run for different positions. It wasn't just school board. It's come down to school board now, but it started off as county commissioner. It started off as our congressional leader. We campaigned for anybody that was running on the ticket that we thought aligned with our causes. And at that point, we campaigned. We were successful in the primary. It went on to the general election. Two of the losing people for the school board decided that they allowed them to switch positions. They switched positions, and we beat them again in the general election in November. And then it was in December the 21st. We got knocks on our doors, and the state trooper, the GBI, the Secretary of State, the local sheriff, the police department, almost every law enforcement agency in the state of Georgia you can think about came knocking on our doors, and they arrested 10 of us. And they accused us with voter fraud. That was in December of 2010. It wasn't until November of 2011 that this even reached any type of legal system. We were indicted. And then they added 2 more. That's how we get the Quitman 10+2. 2 more were also indicted at that time. But since then, the board members have been seated. We had a very successful year on the school board. Our county commissioner has done well. And it started from a desire for change. We got together, we made change, and then our governor came along last month and he changed that. With a stroke of a pen, he went back, and everything that we put in place, that we worked hard, and the citizens, their voice and their vote, it was like it was disregarded. It was changed. We were removed from the school board, so right now we have no representation on our school board. We voted not once but twice, but we're still not being represented in our school board, and we're concerned with that. We have done nothing wrong but excited people that you can vote, educated them on ways to vote, alternatives that we didn't devise this plan. It's in our Constitution. They have a God-given right to vote of their choice, and that's what they did. And so we are very grateful for the support that we're getting from the state. As again, we're not guilty. We're fighting this, and we want you to come to Quitman. Join us on the 24th of February. Thank you.
Dr. Denner, you got to point out the fact that when you were in office, it was a majority black board. Now you've been suspended, it's a majority white board.
Yes, I was not on the ballot in 2010. I was on a special election in 2009. And for years, it's always been majority white school board. Because of the results of the 2010 election, it's for the first time we had a majority black school board that would govern a majority black school system. And that was history being made in Brooks County. And I was elected president of the school board. And the stroke of the pen of the governor again has changed that. He was reversed it. Now we have a majority white school board as of now because of what the governor did for the suspensions.
Let's put all of this in perspective. We have an election coming up next year, 2012 election. This year, 2012, a national election. And it's kind of ironic, as Dr. Denard had pointed out, that from 2 years ago, the state of Georgia has seen fit to bring these charges at a time when we are trying to get everyone out there to register to vote, when we are out there solidly behind getting our president reelected, and we are fighting, and not just the members of the Legislative Black Caucus, but the Justice Department is fighting these efforts across this country to suppress our vote and to validate our vote with some erroneous ID.
Yes.
Put all this in perspective. As was mentioned by my good friend, Representative Brooks, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If we don't stand up now, all of us will fall.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Lowry, thank you so much for making it quite clear to us what's at stake, not just the Quitman 10+2, but all of us that stand here today are at stake.
Yes, sir.
Because if they can do it to Brooks County, Georgia, they can certainly do it to Atlanta, Georgia as well.
Amen. Amen.
And I got to invite our good friend Joe Beasley to come up.
Just simply ditto what's already been said. Enough has been said, and everything is absolutely correct. We know it's a national conspiracy deal, and all the governors got together, came up with a scheme. It's not going to work. Thank you.